Time to Shine Today podcast varsity squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I got my awesome sauce friend here from just north of the border in Awesome Sauce, Canada. And I've been kind of waiting on this interview because the knowledge nuggets that she has on her website, which will be in the show notes, will help you definitely level up from, I kind of like think of a different angle, a more fun perspective in a sense, where I'm a little bit more business. And not saying my good friend Roxanne Chaput is not business, but she makes it fun. If you're watching, you can see she's absolutely stunning, has a bright smile, and she's ready to bring it. But she's a spiritual guide, energy healer, shaman, and life and love coach. Her soul's mission is to guide souls to awaken, heal, and love at the Soullular level. I love that. She is here to inspire, affect energetic change, and empower amazingness in each and every single soul possible. And Roxanne, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to Time to Shine Today podcast varsity squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Ooh, purple.
Why is it purple?
I just love cotton candy, but I just love cotton candies, guys. Just purple. I just find it so soothing, so melancholy, and I just find it such a beautiful color.
And it's regal and royal, like yourself, and you also have the red and blue in it, right? That's my favorite color too. So red, I'm sure you can get a little fired up every once in a while, like all humanity. But the blue is kind of chill and relaxing and stuff and calm. You got a little purple hue there in your background too. It looks
do, my logo.
I love it. It's super. And I love how the angel, if you're watching squad, you can see like the little halo like sits right above her head. I love this. I love it. So Roxanne, let's get to a little bit of the roots of kind of where you started and how you got to the point now where you're really helping people level up at the Soullular level.
Yeah, absolutely. So ever since I was a little girl, I just had this deep knowingness that I was being called to elevate, that I was being called to serve humanity. I was always very receptive to energy. Even as a child, like adults would come to me for guidance. They would share their whole life story with me. They would kind of just like to be in my presence just because I always had like a very calm presence. So that, like if their energy was a little bit disrupted, they'd kind of just come in my energy field and kind of get their fix, I'd like to say. Yeah. And I remember always asking my family and my friends, like my parents, like, do you have this burning desire that you are just meant to serve humanity on a greater scale? And they're like, no, like I just don't understand what you're trying to say. So I just kind of, I couldn't resonate with anyone. I couldn't click with anyone in that sense. Like I couldn't find, the purpose of that. Like, was I different? Was it just something that I was feeling inside of me that everyone feels inside of them, but just maybe didn't want to, bring it forward? And, just going through life's trials and tribulations, I worked at the cancer center, and throughout my entire life, people would always kind of refer to me as their angel. And I had these incredible patients at the cancer center, and obviously most of my clients and patients were palliative. And I had a pediatric population and a very young adolescent population, which was obviously very challenging.
Yes.
And they would always refer to me as their angel. They would always come to me, and I wasn't like the psychologist, the neuropsychologist, or like the counselor of the program. I was like the coordinator, like I did a lot of the coordination. And they would literally just share their entire life story with me right there at my desk, and just pouring out their heart to me, and telling me their fears of the next transition that they're going through. And most of them, like I said, were palliative and they were dying. And it was just something that I thought that everyone did. I thought that everybody had kind of that gift, that everybody was able to kind of help, heal others and to just soothe them, especially at end of life. I wasn't sure that that's what my gifts were. And as I kind of went through life a little bit further, I, experienced some unhealthy relationships to a very, very unhealthy marriage. And then I ended up leaving with my 3 beautiful children. And after I left my marriage, I experienced 4 near-death experiences. And the first near-death experience was truly one of the more pivotal moments of my awakening period. And it just made me realize that I wasn't living to my purpose. And at this time that the first near-death experience happened, we had went over a cliff. And I remember I was working as an executive at a local college here in Canada. And I just remember saying to myself, I've been telling myself I'm happy, I'm good, I'm always positive, I'm always, in a great mood, I'm always uplifting others, inspiring others, but am I really living my life's purpose? is this really what I want to do for the rest of my life? Like, how am I serving humanity by doing this job? Like, I couldn't link it, and it didn't feel fulfilling. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? And then that's when I started to embark on my own self and soul mastery journey.
Wow. Where did you start with that?
My journey.
Your journey, yes. I mean,
Really?
obviously you had to journey to where you're at. And by
Yeah.
the way, I don't understand how you have 3 kids because you look like you're about 20. All due respect, but
I'm close to 40.
yeah, yeah.
But I'm gonna stay 29 forever.
There you go. I just turned 50, so we're like
my,
fine wine. We age
yeah.
well. There you go.
It's what my soul feels like inside, right?
Right.
And yeah, so I think that journey really just commenced as I just really started questioning my reality, questioning my belief system, and really figuring out what was really authentically me and what was kind of, put on me. What did I feel that I should do? What did I feel that I was supposed to do opposed to what I truly desire to do? And what was that burning feeling within, my soul that was telling me that I wasn't living in alignment and that I was doing something different? So I think that's like the moment where I just, really started questioning everything, my belief systems. It's almost like if you think of a house, it was like I tore down the house and tore down the foundation, ripped out the foundation and started building a brand new foundation on my own belief system and what actually felt right within me and that resonated within me and not what was being said in the world. Because I'm sure there's been a lot of conditioning and conformity that has happened and transpired throughout the world, especially as childhood, like going through our childhood. And that was something that I really, really took a lot of time, about 6 months to a year, to really kind of dissect and rebuild that aspect of my core belief system.
Wow. And then I don't mean any disrespect on this because I'm sure you did throughout your life, but when did you really start to believe in yourself?
Honestly, I really started to believe myself at that moment when I nearly died the first time. And before that, I didn't believe in myself. Before that, I didn't know that I had gifts. I didn't know that I had different abilities than other people.
Even though people were telling you the whole time, right?
I thought everybody got those compliments. I thought everybody,
right.
Like, because I gave compliments to everyone as well. So I just thought that was normal. I normalized it.
Wow, that's amazing. And so you lived kind of a life of an imposter in a sense, to where like you were doing your job and doing it well, but you had a gift that you were not given to the world yet. And it was just in good timing. So then do you work one-on-one or in groups?
I work one-on-one.
Okay, perfect. So when you start maybe in a discovery period with a new prospect or possible client, what is your secret sauce, if you don't mind sharing, to maybe help them find their blind spot?
Their blind spot is always within them. We always know our blind spots, but sometimes it just takes somebody else to see something a little bit differently in order, like I always say that it's always good to have people that surround us that have different perspective, because they can see our blind spots when we don't.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have to kind of, when we're doing this deep work and we're going into our self-mastery journey, it's important that we kind of ask others what they see in us, right? Because sometimes, just like myself, I didn't see what I had within me. And that doesn't have to just be our strengths, that could be our weaknesses as well. And sometimes we already know those weaknesses. Sometimes we already are within that shadow work. We're already kind of suppressing a little bit of part of ourselves subconsciously, but consciously we kind of know what we're kind of, not trying to show to the world, opposed to what we're like wanting to present to the world. So I think that really the first part of that is really to just be honest with yourself and to be truthful to yourself, and to like just take away the mask and allow, the dark and the light energy to kind of intertwine and be okay to come to the light.
Wow. So remove the mask and let any of the energy kind of come into you to be able to work through that, in a sense, right? And you probably do that through some pretty powerful questioning, correct? During the maybe the discovery period.
Yeah, absolutely. And because I'm a shaman, I'm a generational shaman. So what I also do, because we do energy healing, and for those that don't know what shamans are, the listeners that I don't know what shamans are.
Sure, please.
Shamans are ancient healers. So they've been around for over 100,000 years. And back then they would be considered the medicine man, medicine woman, spiritual healer, energy healer. And back then, really, it was all about traditional healing modalities and about soulful healing modalities. So shamanism is not spiritual, like is not religion, is not organized religion. It's about connecting yourself to your own individual soul.
Wow.
So
So strong. Wow.
yeah,
Keep
so
going. I'm sorry. Yeah.
yeah, and being a shaman, you can't just become a shaman. It's something that you're born with, you're initiated into. There's a whole process in becoming a shaman, a true shaman.
You can't do it online.
You can try.
We keep it light here. So no, that's great. So
you can try.
when you're in that discussion with your prospective client, do you call them clients, by the way, or what would you call them? The people
I call them soul connections.
Soul connections. I love that. So what is like when you're working with them, is there any good question that you wish they would ask you but never do?
Yes. I feel like what is preventing me from truly effectively healing? Because being a human being, we're 4-layered beings. We have our emotional, we have our mental, we have our physical, and then we have our spiritual, our energetic, right?
Right.
So a lot of us only heal either one or two aspects of ourselves, opposed to healing the actual source of who we are, which is our energy, right? That's where the disruptions and imprints happen. And knowing that we are energetic beings, we're electromagnetic beings, and that energy never dies. That is the biggest component and disposition of who we are.
That is so strong, because we are energy. I mean, everything is energy. And I'm really, really, really big into sound healing myself. I took the course, if you will. I didn't do it online. I actually went. There's fantastic sound healers here in South Florida, and you got the tuning forks and whatnot that we kind of rock out and get it going. But we are all energy, and like if I liken it to almost like a jazz band when I coach clients, right? So like the drums might be your financial, the guitar might be your personal. And like you just said, that there's different aspects that if one of them's out of tune, it can throw off everything, correct?
Yeah. Well, we have chakras within us, and I'm sure you probably are aware what chakras are, but for those that are listening, your chakra.
Yes.
Yeah, your chakra system is like, think of little energy turbines within your body. So from your sacrum, like from your sacral all the way to your crown, you have these incredible chakras, these little energy turbines that are turning within you. And if there's disruptions or there's imprints, that's what causes mental health illness, emotional illness, and physical illness within you. Yeah.
Well, and would it like maybe a little step of what you might do to help them clear up those chakras?
Yeah, so absolutely. So I do massive trance. So most shamans do trance. So we do journeying. We called it journeying. So if you think about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, or hypnotherapy, it's something very similar to that. However, they're fully cognizant and they're fully aware of what's happening through the trance. So we end up going at a soul level, and we end up connecting with their soul. But being an energy healer, an energy reader, I can tell where the disruptions are happening within their energy field. So I can tell which chakra is disrupted. And sometimes for those, it's percussion. It's about hitting. I do native drumming. I do rattling. I do crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, anything that emits frequency, because our chakras really resonate with frequency because we are vibrational beings, right? So it just depends on the client, and it depends on the chakra that's affected.
I love it. So when you're taking them through your process and they're beginning to heal and level up, what kind of things do you put them on for, like, I'm saying this in air quotes, kind of like maintenance to keep leveling up? Because a lot of times it can, you'll hit a block, or a loved one may die, or you almost fall off a cliff. Like, what kind of things do you kind of set them up with maintenance?
Right. I work with my clients until they're fully sustainable on their own. That's why I do offer guarantees in my journeys, is that they do affect cellular healing or awakenings and so forth. And I think that it's important understanding that we are human beings, and that our energy, and that we are always going to be embarking on our self and soul mastery journey that will never end. We are always going to be attaining wisdom. We are always going to have to do the self work that we need to do. So we need to. And for that, like for some people like to meditate. Personally, I don't do meditation. That doesn't work for me. So I do journeying. So however you find your peace, and that you're able to connect with yourself and experience the inner peace, and allow that inner peace to kind of prevail through you.
Love it.
That's the work that we need to continue to do. And we can't negate that self-care. It's just like when you're exercising, you can't just stop exercising and expect your body to be healthy. Right? So we have to continuously exercise. We got to continuously practice, just like yoga, continuously practice, and make sure that we strengthen.
Love it. Yeah, it's funny because like being 50 and I keep myself decently in shape and whatnot, but it's like every morning when I wake up now, it's like my check engine lights on. And no matter how much recovery I do, I'm not a meditator either. I'm a breather. Like
Yeah.
I love the deep box breathing, and my morning routine is always on point. If I call it chasing energy. A lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't chase things, but my mentor was like, a coyote sees a rabbit, he's going to chase it, but he's going to have a strategy. Going to have a strategy for catching the rabbit, right? And if you stick to a strategy, you can have that energy. I love that. I love it. So let's unpack a little bit about this journeying. Can you elaborate just a little bit more on that?
Yeah. So as shamans, and I mean, this is going to be a little bit foreign to some listeners.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, as shamans, we travel through worlds, right? So we travel through dimensions. So that is the point of being a shaman. And that's where we find disruptions. That's where we encounter our spiritual guides and our animal guides. And that's where we receive our guidance. So shamanism for me is from an indigenous culture, right? So I am indigenous, I am native, I am French and native, and it's a Métis culture here in Canada. So when we journey here in Canada, and journeying can be different in Peru, it just depends on the shaman and their traditions. However, here when we journey, it's like we are going and we're asking the right questions in order to receive the right responses to see how we're able to help them heal, to guide them to heal. So when we put a client through a journey through a trance, is that we are now allowing them, but they have to get to a certain point in their work where they're able to actually open up, to actually connect with their own spiritual and their own animal guides. So that's what the journey, where they will receive the answers by doing the journeys.
I love that. And like, it's funny you said Peru. You just kind of mentioned it because I do make a journey there every 2 years for a little ayahuasca and cleansing and stuff like that. It's changed my life. It really has. It's not for everybody because it's a scary as hell situation.
Yeah, well, it's a soul retrieval, right? It's a soul retrieval. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Not all shamans use ayahuasca. Here in Canada, it's not legal, unfortunately, but we do other medicinal herbs, or we do like percussion. We do different things to put them into a trance.
Love it. I love it. This is so fun. Because I'm unpacking so much with a professional that does it. Because I only get my fix, every couple of years. And COVID cut a year out. I'm heading back there in August to have I meet with guys I served in the military and some hard target, stuff, and we all kind of meet up down there and just get some black maca and you just kind of relax and just kind of just let loose. And I'd come back totally refreshed, cleaned out, that's for sure. I'll tell you that with ayahuasca.
It's a cleansing.
Oh my gosh. Remember my first one.
And that's the thing. Sometimes when people come through journeys with me, because we're releasing so much emotional distress, physical distress, mental distress, some people start throwing up. Some people, have bowel movements a few days where they're cleansing. I'm like, it's a cleanse, right? You're doing an energy cleanse, just like you would do like a detox, like a food detox.
Right. So have you seen the movie Back to the Future?
Yes.
Okay. Let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Let's go back, because I know your age kind of. Let's go back to the double deuce, the 22-year-old Roxanne.
Okay.
Is there any good knowledge nuggets? That's what we call them here at Talent to Shine today. Is there any good knowledge nuggets you might share with her? Not so much to change anything, Roxanne, because our journey is our journey, right? But to maybe help her shorten a learning curve, level up, and blast through maybe just a little quicker.
Yeah, like if I could have redone it from the age of 22, is that what we're thinking?
No, not change anything, hon, but like maybe drop some knowledge on her to help her along the journey.
Yeah, I would tell her to trust herself and to believe in herself. That would be my biggest. That would be the biggest words of wisdom that I would share.
It nails it, hits home so much with you because it's like people had to almost inadvertently coach it off you. Yes, yeah, that's crazy. So how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, your life date and death date on your tombstone, which we hope is way down the road, right? So stay away from cliffs. But how would you like your dash remembered, Roxanne?
Honestly, I've never really thought of that, and I think that I really would want to be remembered for just being incredibly loving.
Yeah.
Love and light is what I'd want. Love, light, and peace on my tombstone.
Wow. Love, light, and peace. That's strong. And you're actually walking that walk. There's a lot of people out there. Unfortunately, I've even interviewed, and they talk a good game, but they're not living it. And that's so imperative, I believe, to live what you're talking about, and you do it. And the world's so blessed for that, Roxanne. So what do you think then people misunderstand the most about you?
I think that they don't understand what energy healing is. A lot of people, like in my surroundings, like a lot of my family and friends, really, like they've always known that I was a very old soul. Like I was always kind of labeled as an old soul. I've always carried a lot of wisdom. I've always channeled a lot of higher universal messages to those around me. And they're like, where did that come from?
Right.
But yeah, I think that new people, like I can't have superficial conversations. I'm a very deep conversationalist. So it's just I can't really speak to those that aren't really awakened or that are not open to receiving the information that is being channeled.
Wow, that's strong, and that's where you can help them. So, like, as you evolved to where you are, and you look back at your journey, your physical journey, if you will.
Yeah.
Was there ever somebody that was always there, whether metaphysically or physically, that was always there? You look back and go, damn, I just wasn't aware to it.
Yeah, I've always had an incredible spiritual guide, two angels over me, and one is an ancestor, an indigenous ancestor, and she is a shaman. And this is how I knew I was a shaman, is because she came into my dreams for almost 4 months straight, and she kept calling me to the land. I won't go into the full description of the dream because it may take up some time. However, it was an incredible dream, and it wasn't until another shaman in my community let me know by doing dream interpretation, let me know what that dream signified.
Wow.
And that's kind of how I realized I was a shaman. But instinctually, and the feeling of the warmth that I felt with her in my dream, she has always been around me.
Wow, that's amazing that we're alert to it, because there's been people in my life that were barking at me in a sense, right, that I just wasn't open to hearing. It could have a lot of been ego for me, to be honest with you. But then I look back now and I'm a lot more centered. I mean, I'm always evolving, but there was people there in my path. That was awesome. So then what keeps you up at night?
The world, where it's going.
Okay.
The heaviness of the world, just because obviously I work in the light and I do a lot of light working, and it's just there's a disbalancement happening in the world, and I think that energetically any light worker is feeling that right now.
Right.
It's just not to be playing into that narrative, and just to keep emitting light and love and peace regardless of what's transpiring throughout the world. However, it is bothersome for our future. It's bothersome for our children. It's bothersome for just other living beings. We're all divine creatures. We are unity. We are divine oneness. So that's bothersome.
Wow. So what are 3 things that let's not say any computers or technological or anything basic like food, air, water, whatnot. Like, what are 3 things that Roxanne can't live without?
Love.
Okay.
Love, family, my family, like my imminent family.
Sure.
Love, family, and just goodness.
I love it. I think you need community in a sense too, because it's like your energy, and the community just ramps up your energy. I absolutely love that. So then what is Roxanne's definition of a life well lived?
A life well lived is serving humanity at a greater level beyond what we serve ourselves. And this might feel contradictory, and I believe that we should always obviously fill our cup, but I feel that what we give to the world has to be beyond what we can offer, what we feel that we can offer. It has to go beyond that.
So let me ask you something then. Let's unpack that a little bit deeper. Like, are you open to reciprocation?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Because a lot of times, especially energy people, they're giving so much that they can block the goodness coming in. I mean, I'm happy that you are, and I'm happy for you saying that.
Yeah. And, I did a lot of research around the laws of attraction. I have certifications in law of attraction, and to understand that it's not just the law of attraction at hand. There's 11 other universal laws that go into collaboration with the law of attraction.
Wow.
When we think of these law of vibration, law of correspondence, law of action. There's so many different laws that go in, like that coincide with the law of attraction. So when we think about reciprocity, it's important that we understand how to receive and how to give.
Wow, that is amazing. And just being open to receiving too, because I mean, I was a give until it hurt so good, but I wasn't open. I found out the blocking, and luckily my coach, spiritual coach, she's just like, you have to be open to this stuff. And once I did, everything just really turned the corner. So, and squad, we are going to take my lovely friend Roxanne through our leveling up lightning round just as soon as we get back from thanking our sponsors and affiliates. Time to shine today, podcast varsity squad. We are back, and Roxanne, maybe one day we'll sit down and have a discussion in the flesh, face to face. And we'll probably talk 15-20 minutes on each one of these questions, but you have 5 seconds with no explanation on these questions, and they can all be answered that way, I promise you.
Okay.
Awesome. So let's level up. All right, Roxanne, what is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Oh, sorry, it cut out a little bit.
What's the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Trust myself.
Yes. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Practicing what I preach.
Yeah, there you go. So you see me walking down the street, you're like, yeah, Fergie looks like he's in his doldrums a little bit. Is there a book you might hand me to help me level up?
I don't read books.
Okay, no problem.
I channel. I'm sorry, I'm channeling.
No, you're good. So what is your most commonly used emoji when you text?
White heart.
White heart, love it. Any nicknames growing up?
Yes.
What is it? What is it?
Foxy Roxy.
Foxy Roxy. I love it. So chess, checkers, or Monopoly?
Monopoly.
All right, very cool. We can definitely hang. So what's your go-to ice cream flavor?
Bubblegum.
All right, now we can definitely. I love bubblegum. It's awesome.
What's the bubblegum in it?
Love it. So there's a sandwich called the Foxy Roxy. What's on that sandwich?
Chicken, bacon.
Oh man, Candy, dude, you and I are like, you're like my sister from another mist. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Pickles,
that's awesome.
Onions, everything.
Love it. Yes. So you can come back to present day, but you can hop in a time machine for one day. Would you go 20 years or 30 years in the past and relive a day, or would you go forward 30 years to see what's going on?
I would go back to the day that I met my incredible partner.
Yay! That's awesome. There's an awesome kegger in 1989 that I would go back and relive that night over and over. Love it.
It was really great, passionate, intimacy. We'll just leave it there.
All right, very cool. Love it. Love that. So, favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time or money to?
Yes, I'm actually in the midst of creating my own charity. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe in helping, obviously, foster children and orphan children. So that is something that is true and dear to my heart. So I'm just in collaborations actually with a U.S. company right now. And we're just looking and working how that's going to kind of look out for donors.
Thank you for doing that. If you need help, let me know. I was an orphan and did some child slavery stuff. So I can probably put you in touch with some people, if you ever need it. If you ever see somebody, you're like, can you make an intro? I'd love to be able to make that introduction. So last question, you can elaborate on this one, but what's the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
I'm going to go 90s.
90s. Okay. Very cool. I'm an 80s guy, but I'll give you the 90s.
I was born in the 80s, so I can't appreciate it.
Awesome. So how can we find you?
Anyone can find me on my website at www.roxannechaput.com, and all of my social media handles are under that name as well.
Love it. And do you have these retreats going on that with the shamanic healing journey retreats and stuff?
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so those are all individual retreats. Those are all healing ceremonies and healing celebrations that I bring my clients through once they have mastered their cellular healing.
Mm.
And I'm looking to actually, I'm in collaborations with a company in the US and Canada right now, and we're looking at doing global retreats with renowned healers throughout the world.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. So do me one last solid here. So you just rock this mic. So do me one last solid and leave us with one last knowledge nugget we can take with us, internalize, and take action.
Yeah, just really to silence the noise and really to trust yourself, go in deep, trust your instinct, trust your intuition, and make sure that you're following your soul's mission. And that sometimes that means change. Sometimes that means we have to change careers, change business avenues. We have to pivot. Sometimes that means that we need to let go of relationships and friendships that no longer serve us, but understand that they needed to be a part of our journey, but they don't need to be the rest of our journey.
I love that. I love it. And squad, we literally had a free masterclass with my awesome friend here, Roxanne, that, she had a deep knowingness to be called to elevate and serve humanity. She's referred to, as Roxanne was referred to as people's angels. She would have to ask herself, is she living her life's purpose? So she has commanding questioning to find out what her authenticity is. And that's what she will do for you when you work with her. She builds her foundation on her belief systems that always level up. She wants you to remember that it's good to have people with different perspectives around you. They might not match your energy, but different perspectives that can help you find your blind spot. Be honest and truthful and accept both the positive and negative because it's part of your journey. And the negative parts, let us make a warm introduction to my good friend Roxanne here to help you get through that. She believes that a lot of souls are connected, and if you're in a kind of a pinch, ask yourself, what is preventing me from truly healing, truly leveling up? She'll help you find disruptions in energy field and work with you until you are fully sustainable on your own. So she has ongoing, she cares, she gives a shit, she wants to be there and to help you level up. And, she wants to remind us to never negate your self-care. Okay. Like you are important. You have your vehicle that you're in, your body, your temple. Take care of that. Trust and believe in yourself. She will be remembered as somebody that's incredibly loving, wants light and peace, no matter what is transpiring in the world. She believes that serving humanity at a greater level than we serve ourselves is absolutely paramount. And lastly, silence the noise and trust yourself. Go deep, trust your instincts, and follow your soul's mission. That's what my good friend Roxanne does. She's leveled up her health. She leveled up her wealth. She's humble and curious, yet she's still hungry for more. She's earned her varsity squad level, varsity letter here at Time to Shine today. Thank you so much for coming on. Love your guts immensely. And I can't wait to collaborate with you on some stuff in the future, Roxanne.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me today. It was such an honor.
You bet. Mwah. Chat soon.